Welcome to Wraparound the World, where we explore the incredible journey of Wraparound from its origins to its global impact. Join us as we delve into personal and community stories, meeting powerful individuals, families, and communities who have been transformed by this powerful approach.
In today's show, we welcome Deborah Moore, Jessica Attucks, and Paul Bright from the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Today, these champions are helping lead the efforts across North Carolina.
And in this discussion, we'll explore together how these leaders are supporting UNCG scale fidelity, partner with the community, and have a positive impact with children and families they serve.
My good friends, welcome.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, no, it's so great to see you in person.
You as well.
Yeah, I've seen you in person and in a while, I think, and then just kind of being here. We're so glad that you have here. I'm honored to be in your presence.
We are
You guys do a lot of
here.
great, amazing things, and the fact that you were able to come and be presenters at the conference. So I just want to have some fun tonight.
Okay.
Just kind of sit and talk a few minutes. We're going to talk about maybe some of the things that you're doing, right? I'll have you introduce yourself, and then maybe what brought you to Wraparound, and why you're still here, why you're still in it, right? A little about your journey, and then why you're still in it. So, if you want to just kind of get started with that, that'd be great. Who wants to get us started?
I guess
Not me.
Not me.
Okay.
So my name is Jessica Attucks. I am an implementation specialist too with the North Carolina High-Fidelity Wraparound training program. We're based out of UNC Greensboro in North Carolina. A little bit about my journey. So I've worked with people across the lifespan from birth to aging. I felt like my niche area for some time had been youth and families.
Okay.
Wanting them to be together, wanting them to thrive, wanting them to be successful. But what I found in my experience is that, barriers get in the way, challenges arise in life for all of us,
Right.
and it can get in the way of us being who we truly want to be.
Okay.
And so Wraparound, what the model does well is puts youth and families at the forefront of accomplishing who they want to be.
Okay.
And so I'm still here because I want youth and families to be successful. I want them to thrive. I want them to reach the visions that they set for themselves.
I love that. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great to be with you, Tracy.
Oh, that's great.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
am Deborah Moore, and I too am with the North Carolina High-Fidelity Wraparound Training Program. I am the lead implementation specialist. What we do involves coaching and training and supporting teams that provide high-fidelity wraparound to families. I enjoy the work wholeheartedly. My background is in social work. I was at the Department of Social Services for 13 years, and I was in that time span when they began to do child welfare reform.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when the rave was all about child and family team meetings. And, I was like curious about it, was raising my hand to facilitate meetings. And we were doing the best we could at that time
Sure,
with family-centered work.
Right.
Well, fast forward 20 some years, no, not quite 20, 15 to 17 years later, I came across High-Fidelity Wraparound. And reading the Varun manual, it stood out loud and clear. We were missing the mark when we were trying to do family-centered work with families, with child and family team meetings. We did, okay, but we were missing the mark big time because we were not letting families' voice and choice be at the forefront. We didn't have the partners walking alongside of families, really supporting them through the process, encouraging them to be empowered. And so I was like, everyone that ever touches the life of a family needs to go through and hear about High-Fidelity Wraparound, take some of these principles and the model into their own practices, because High-Fidelity Wraparound gets it right. So I'm 100% vested. I love this model. Can't see myself doing anything else.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I remember you were part of that initial team, right? The initial launch many years ago.
Yes.
When you all came down, and the energy around, the excitement around what it was doing as you were starting your center there too.
That's right.
So to see, this full circle moment with you all,
Yes.
you've done there is
It
just
is.
amazing.
It is great
Really
to
is
see.
amazing.
Yeah, speaking of that, we used to say often we were flying the plane while building the plane.
Uh,
And so now it feels like we finally have that plane built, and now
yeah,
we're,
yeah.
flying pretty steadily and soaring, and of course hitting those turbulent pockets
Sure,
at times.
sure,
But
sure.
it was great to have you all supporting us as we
Yeah,
were getting off the
yeah.
ground.
That's
So
great.
thank you so much for all
No,
that you poured
absolutely.
into us.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Definitely want to come back to some of the stuff that you guys are doing too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Hi. Good to see you in person.
Yes,
It's been
sir.
fun. It's definitely been fun, especially that Tacky Tuesday.
Oh, that was
That's
great.
for another episode. That
Yeah,
would be an
yeah.
after
Okay.
hours episode. My name is Paul Bright. I am an implementation specialist one with the North Carolina High-Fidelity Wraparound training program. I work directly with the coaches to help them make sure that they are doing the program to fidelity. I speak with some of their leadership to communicate some things. I just help them along the process, and hopefully, we're passing the model down through the coaches, to the facilitators, support partners, even to the families. So that's my main job with that. I came to this. I'm from North Carolina, but I was in the military, and so I left the state. And it's good to be back. But I spent total 16 years in California, and I was working with homeless people there. I was working with veterans. I was working with families, and then the next job after that, I was working as an intensive care coordinator, where I was handling facilitation. And I learned, oh, this was born out of Wraparound, was intensive care coordination. So I was helping coordinate behavioral services and mental health services for kids in the foster care system.
Mhm.
And then the big pandemic happened. And I was like, I don't want to leave this job unless there's a way back to North Carolina. And sure enough, there was a way back to North Carolina. Through some interesting trials and tribulations, I found that, hey, there's a training program. And I was like, I think it's time for me to move along into some sort of training. And there I was. And so now I'm here, and I'm so happy. I am so happy. I'm so juiced. It's so great. And then having our own conferences and then coming to this and seeing the whole nation is juiced about doing wraparound and success stories. It's amazing. Such a great time.
I love that. Thank you for that too. We're super excited to be back doing the conference again. We hadn't launched until post-pandemic yet, and so this was our first one back doing that. And so, yeah, we are so stoked to have as much representation from across the country that we've had. With folks from Hawaii, Alaska, everywhere. You guys everywhere, right? So, it is great. Yeah, let me ask about that. Tell me what some of the things that you've seen or learned that you've done or here, some takeaways that you've had so far in your time here. Can somebody speak to that? The things you've seen that you've learned that you've liked that you've
It's been a lot of things. I'm like trying to
yeah.
pinpoint something I want to highlight. Um, from one of the sessions today. Matter of fact, it was yours and
Oh,
Jared's
okay.
session today on facilitation skills. Just some of the things y'all had us thinking about with language in the room with families during child and family team meetings, just switching up the language a bit. For example, not necessarily using parking lot as a title of what
Sure.
we categorize, but instead have that called the broad idea board. I'm like, that's pretty, just tweaking some words can really change the tone and the
Yeah.
mood. So just being mindful of
Yeah.
the language.
Yeah.
And, we talk about that often, but you all gave us some tangible things to really think about.
Right.
And I was jotting down notes, and if I had had my notebook, I could have given you some more. But that was the one thing that stood out. But I love that you all are helping us think outside of a box
Right.
and always trying to be innovative and creative
Right.
with how we can approach families in a way that's going to feel good to them, meet them where they are, and let them excel.
Yeah, keep them engaged. Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Jess?
So I love the theme in general, just about engaging fathers, and the impact of what it means to have dad around, and how do you overcome barriers,
Yeah.
and include them in the process, because they are important too. And I will also say, like, an underlying theme has been empowerment. That is what I have heard in all of the sessions as well. Empowering people to just be great, empowering parents
Yeah.
to have confidence. And it's okay to not be perfect.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a learning curve, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And you got this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like
That's
that.
good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Paul, what about you? Anything
I have
that comes to
learned,
mind for you?
I've had a lot of good experiences with people that aren't direct providers, but are stakeholders
Mm-hmm.
and program managers, and hearing how they come to work with their families and how some of they train their teams. That networking, like you can't top that.
Yeah.
We just had a conversation outside the door before coming in with a guy, and he does exactly what we do. And I was like, oh, you do what we do. So okay, well, what do you do over there? What do you guys? So having that exchange,
Yeah.
that's unmatched. You can't get something like that.
That's true.
You know, I was just saying in one of some of the folks before or a little bit earlier is that I love coming and being around kind of like minds, right?
Yes.
Rap champions
Yes.
and others, and with such a diverse group from all over, you get to see what other people are doing. You get to pick up different things, and even as someone that's been doing and training and doing, I'm still learning. I learn from every class, from every interaction with someone that I'm with. I'm learning and picking up things that I also want to share, that I share, right? That we do, and this is exactly what we want from others. But I think it is, one of the things, as you say that about that networking, Paul, I'm reminded of the story that you shared about working with Kim.
Yeah.
And how you, you worked with her many years ago in
Yeah.
California. She was there, now she's here. You kind of
Yeah.
bumped into her here. I just met Kim for the first time in California last week or 2
Oh,
weeks
that's cool.
ago.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She's become our
cool.
BFF here with my whole team.
Yes.
It's not even just me. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, learning about her, little
Yeah.
wraparound work stuff that
Yeah.
she's doing with 0 to 5, and yeah. So again, it's just that's the kind of stuff that you do, right? It puts a smile on your face. It continues to have you energized about the work that we're doing, and I just think it adds to what we want to do. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's those things that I think are really important. Um, so can you tell us why you're staying in this work? Why are you continuing to do the work? Yeah, I want to hear some of those kind of reasons. If you can speak to some of that.
I feel like my personal reasons. Like I have been on a mission. It was so funny. A guy told me years ago. He says, when you turn 50, like you finally figure out what you want to do in your life. It's like, what's this guy talking about? About 3 years ago, I was like, oh, he was right because I'm getting there. Now I'm 50, but I feel like I'm on a mission to help the helpers. Like somebody's got to help the helpers in some way, however it comes out. And right now, Wraparound seems to have the biggest impact. So if I can help train the people who are helping others and keep their
Yeah.
confidence and their skills going, it's not necessarily work, labor. It is
Sure.
work,
Yeah.
but it's a passion. And me being where I'm at, I get to use the artsy creative side of my spirit. It's like,
Right.
well, we need some new tools or we need a new way to talk. I was like, well, let's try this. And I love working with people that can say yes or no, but good idea, but it's going to be a valid no. It's not going to be like, we don't do that, so
Right.
having that opportunity is great for me too. It keeps me going, so having that opportunity to pass that down,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great.
I want to help helpers.
Yeah.
Okay, I love
So
that. What about
actually,
you?
Paul hit on something that I say all the time, and it's passion. I'm staying in this work because I'm passionate about it, and I feel like when I'm operating in my passion, it doesn't feel like work. Sure, it is work,
Sure.
but it doesn't feel
Right.
laborious. It doesn't feel draining. It feels like I'm on a mission and I have a calling to do it. So I love training. I love sharing with others information in a way that keeps it simple to understand so that then they can take it and run with it. Um, Information means nothing if it's only shared in a room and never taken beyond the four walls.
Okay.
But my goal, my desire
That's
is
a word.
always,
That's a word,
yes,
sis. That's a
yes,
word, sis. That's a word. I'm telling you.
yes.
Yeah.
So my goal is always to provide it in a way that it can live outside of the four walls that it's given in. And so I'm very passionate about that because I want to know that families are striving and thriving. And so if I can say something that encourages someone else to take it and use it with the family to help them survive and thrive, then I've done my work,
Right.
which is my passion. So it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like work.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I would say so. I'm very much an outcomes and like a systems person. And what I like about this work is the ability, whether it is doing the work through the agencies that we work with that directly impact youth and families, if it's in my internal team, being able to use model elements and those micro elements that impact High-Fidelity Wraparound in such a way that fosters positive outcomes and helping people reach their potential, and helping them to see that they already have the skills and talents
Yeah.
and the confidence.
Yeah.
It just needs to be awakened.
Right.
And so
Right.
I
Right.
really love like those light bulb moments or those crucial conversations or overcoming those barriers. Keeps me going.
Yeah.
That's good.
I love that. Let me ask this of you guys and tell me what you think. What do you see for the future of wraparound? Maybe in what you're doing, right? And in North Carolina. Tell me what do you think? What are you seeing in the future wraparound? What does that mean to you when I say that?
Well, for one, I definitely see it expanding. So we have 100 counties in North Carolina, and our immediate goal or more short-term goal to accomplish pretty quickly will be to have all 100 counties covered with high-fidelity wraparound, accessible to all youth and families. So we are very close to that point. I haven't counted in a while. I think it was 70 some counties now. I don't know, 100. So we are very close. Some 5 years ago, we were not even close to that number. So we've definitely made some progress. So I can see that as a goal. And then I can even see our program expanding to the point that we have even connections nationally, outside of just North Carolina, partnering with you all, continuing to partner with you all, maybe combining some conferences or something. We would love that. We're trying to find some conferences in Hawaii. I can have connection to send us there to go. But doing things even outside of North Carolina, that's more long term. Of course, 5-10 years, but definitely a lot of space for growth and expansion.
They were talking about John's talk, and he was talking about how how wraparound is exploding, right? And he was talking about when it did it way back then, and Jared was saying before how it feels like it's doing that again now, right? Because it's an evolution, right? It's an evolution as we learn things, as things shift and they change.
That's true.
And there's growth
Yes.
of different things and of different practices, right? We want to see that and continue that evolution. So
I would say too, to like piggyback off of what Deborah's saying, even on a much bigger scale for the youth and families that have these positive outcomes, the nuggets of hope that they are able to offer to the people that are connected to them, maybe somebody in line at Walmart or what have you. I think Wraparound, it might have worked with, this family right here, but the elements of it spread far and wide.
Right. Definitely. And it's funny you should say that. We're working with the state of Illinois as well as they, kind of roll it out for them, certifying and doing other things. And one of the folks that is part of the training, right? Doing that, and she was like, I miss doing this and I miss that. And I say, my thing for her is, the work that you're going to be doing, even though it's about a higher level, you're going to be leaving an impact.
Yes, that's right.
Part of a legacy.
That's
right. You're going to be walking around saying things like, well, what would Norma say?
Right.
What would Norma do? Right. Norma's our coach. She's our implementation specialist. What would she think we should? Let me think like her as for my coaching. Right. What would that look like? Right. And it really helped set for her. Like, I don't have to be there at every meeting. I don't have to, do that. Right. It's really about that impact and how we continue to grow and have those intimate moments, like you're saying, with different people. And I think to me, it's the principles in practice.
That's right.
Right?
That's
it's those principles in practice. Because when you come to this work and you're using wraparound, it's a way of life. It becomes. I think,
that's right.
And you can, like I say a lot, you can tell those people that are doing wraparound. You can pick them out. Pick them out of a crowd. Pick them out of a crowd.
Right. I talk to my coaches now about that because we're still relatively in its infancy. You know, I came here, was it in 2021, September 2021? It was maybe 20 counties, and now we're already at 70. And
From 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Yes.
yeah,
realize it's
it was
been
not
have
that
had some
much.
rapid growth.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the
Wow,
coaches
y'all
now.
not playing over there. Y'all put on the gas. Y'all got put on the gas. Okay.
We just added some counties, you know. And,
Wow.
and I tell the coaches now, I said, my hope is you guys in 3 years are going to be the supervisors. It's still in an infancy. So right now, a lot of the supervisors, the programs we work with, they don't have wraparound experience. They've never been coaches or facilitators, but they've done well managing other programs. Said, you guys are the generation I'm looking at right now because you are the people I want to be speaking to.
Yeah.
You know, in 3 or 4 years, they're like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. You know, because then you get to manage a program of hiring staff and saying, I've been where you are, so I know how this works. Just no more guessing. You know, I've been working with Paul for 15 years, you know, whatever. So
That's
you know.
great. Well, guys, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to
Yes.
come and kind of talk to us
Absolutely.
about this wraparound thing that we all love. Right?
Yes. Thank you
As-
for
as
having
champions.
us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
It's an honor for us to have you here, have you being a part, presenting, sharing that work, continuing this partnership. And, you know, we'll have you back definitely to continue to talk
For sure.
about
Yeah.
your conference that you do.
Yes.
Anything that
Yes.
you want to plug or anything you feel like you want to say before we, you know, kind of hang out or, you know, kind of shut it down? Feel like you said you all need to say? Is there
Well,
anything
a
like that?
plug, we can definitely
Please.
plug our center or well, it's our center slash our agency, the North Carolina High-Fidelity Wraparound Training Program. You can reach out to us via our website, which is www.nchfwtp.uncg.edu. Okay, hopefully you got all that.
Okay.
To check us out and see what we're doing
Link
in
in
the
the show
state of North Carolina.
Okay. All right. That's great. Well, again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. My
Thank you for
friends, my
having us, Charlie.
family.
Yes.
Family, being here and doing this with us.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.